I was thinking of ways to describe my guest today. He's a living legend who's seen successes and also experienced hard times and then success through the power of Jesus Christ. Ernest Lee Thomas has worked alongside Spike Lee, Denzel Washington in the movie Malcolm X, starred alongside Sidney Poitier in the movie Piece of Action, and he is mostly known in America as Raj in What's Happening and What's Happening Now. But you may know him in the UK as Mr. Omar. Tragic! That's his catchphrase. Mr. Omar, everybody hates Chris. Now born again for several years. His career continues to soar, and I'm so honored to have him here. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you, Eve. What a great intro, man.
Oh man,
that was awesome.
Yes, I had to make sure. So I want to start with this because you're from Gary, Indiana.
Yes,
now,
yes.
A lot of people would know that as the home of the Jacksons, where they came from. Did you ever see them? Did you ever meet them around that time?
Oh yeah. I met Michael through Muhammad Ali because I wanted to go and see Lena Horne. They were sold out. I said, Ali, I know if you go, they'll give us seats, right? And they did. people gave up their seats. 6th row center, the 6th row. And Michael was there. He runs I'm like the fanatical fan, right? And Ali, like that. And he came over, and then Ali introduced me. He always called me Roger. He will not call me by my name. Then he introduced us, and then we exchanged numbers and like that. So I met him then. But Janet, I had met Janet when the Doobie Brothers was on What's Happening.
Yes,
he came by and she got our autographs. She was so shy. She was Penny on Good Times at that time.
Yes.
And so she came, and our stages were right by it, next to each other. And then later, Michael invited me to his Neverland for his father. He had a birthday party for his father there. I met everyone. But yeah, man.
I mean, you've had a glorious career. You starred in the world's first Black teen sitcom called What's Happening. We don't get that here, but it's been popular in culture in regards to the rappers have quoted the show.
They do.
People have taken the laugh, the hey, all of those things, all the things that have come out of that show. Even you had the great rerun in there. You got Hayward Nelson, who was like a heartthrob at the time.
Big time.
So
he dated Madonna, by the way.
He did. Wow.
Madonna, Scary Spice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a pretty dude, isn't he? He's a pretty dude. So,
yeah.
So I mean, you've had the success has been amazing for you. I mean, you even was in season 2 of The Jeffersons, which was another popular. I mean, first of all, how did you start? How did you get into TV and roles?
Well, I was a late bloomer, and that's why I had so many haters, because I would go and see them, my friends in, junior high and high school plays, and they were so good, and I was Kojic, I was Pentecostal, and you're not supposed to be in the world, and we couldn't do any of that. We weren't even supposed to go and see movies or anything, but at school, they had these plays, and I was, I could never do that. Swear, I never ever wanted to be an actor, right? So, but going to college, a friend of mine's older brother came there. He was a veteran. My fraternity brother's brother came. He was a veteran, and he was not a person that took on a lot of friends. He was very aloof. But with me, he just saw that. I guess he saw I needed that. Again, I never met my father, so I don't know if he just knew that intuitively, but he took on a role like that father, a big brother, and I just did things to make him laugh because I was so glad he was my friend. And he says, "Man, you're an actor. You know, you could do whatever those actors on TV are doing or movies." I said, "Oh no, I'm gonna be a social worker, but thanks, you know, no." And so I just kept making him laugh. And he said, "Look, Ernie, you really should look into that." So here's this guy: is God will bring you people that see something in you that you don't even see. So based on what he was saying, I took a class, got an A in it, and from there I went, "Oh my God!" So and the teacher is telling me, he says, "You know," and I remember he was this white teacher with bright red hair. And you could do this for a living. He pulled me. I mean, the last day of class, he pulled me to the side and told me that. And all these acting majors, right? I was just taking it, you know, as an elective. And so I said, yeah, but no, I'm gonna be a social worker, but thank you, you know, like that. Still, then I auditioned for. So let me try to audition for this play. It was Romeo and Juliet. Played the prince, and I did my, you know, all the actors are there, and I do my part. And the director said, "Excuse me, I don't know about you guys, but Ernest, I'd like to see that one more time." And that gave me, even now I'm getting a chill. Like, what? And you know, again, you got the haters because I'm not the acting. They don't know me. They don't know because they all in that same circle. And I do it again. Then I got cast, and I was doing autographs in cause Indiana public schools, and but still, then I couldn't let it go. I just could not let the what is this? I couldn't let that. It was something that just would not. I'm saying I'm going to be a social worker, but that thing, that acting bug, would not go away. And I said, "Lord Jesus, this can't be. You know, I got to be. So I can't. What am I going to do with that? You know, how do I even start? How do you do that as a?" And lo and behold, uh, with American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is the oldest English-speaking school in the nation, acting school in the world, besides Russia. Then Russia was, but that was Russian. But
Mm.
for it's over 100 years old. That school, you know, you can name all the Oscar winners and Oscar nominated. It's just a who's who. You know, you name them. Um, and so Jake says, that same friend, they having auditions in Chicago. And I said, "Jake, did you see the list of people that went there, man? Yeah, I can't do it." And he's Ernie, get your ass in the car. Yeah, and he literally was threatening to kick my butt. So and seriously, that type of love. So I got in the car, we drove, well, I think it was like about 300 miles or so. And at the LaSalle Hotel there, and I think it was like, I can't think of the name of the hotel, but anyway, the executive director was a French, he had a French last name, but he was executive. So I just did what I same done in my acting class. The same, I did speech from Hamlet. I did the Gettysburg Address, and I did. Uh, Death of a Salesman. I strung several um, dialogues, monologues together. So that was my thing. And so I jumped on top of this chair as a prince and all that. And I just did what I had done, you know. But and so he extends his hand and says, "Welcome, welcome to the American Academy." I was like, "That's it?" He says, "Yeah, that's it." You know, and from then, and then when I got to New York, they said, "You don't have to. You audition for the main guy, because usually people they have other regional people under that guy who will go to other cities." They said because you auditioned for him, you don't have to audition again, and that was. Kim Cattrall was my classmate.
Wow.
Peter Berg from
Yeah, director.
that, you know, that no, from the no, from Young and the Restless. He's a
Okay.
star of Young and the Restless on there. And So, and Kim and I went out, this a friendly dating thing. She was like a tomboy though. She had like a brunette. She was a brunette with a page cut haircut. Such a sweet girl. We have so much fun. And first time I met someone from Canada, you know, and so we both got I was the first. She got a movie before we were it's a 2-year program. We both had to get special permission. So I was cast in a play because some guy came there to see a student play, and he wanted me. So they said, Ernest, we usually don't do that. We don't feel you're ready till you graduate, but this producer wants you, so we're gonna make an exception. And that was with F. Lee Abraham, who won the Oscar for Amadeus.
Oh yes,
Uh,
yes. In Scarface as well.
yeah,
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 he
yeah,
was in
yeah,
there too. And
yeah.
then oh God, from Benson, Robert Guillaume, they were the
Yes.
stars, and I was his younger brother. And I got a great review from the New York Daily News. Then the hate came on. So after the show was over, you go back, then you got the haters. But again, man, it was just I wanted it so bad, and my faith helped me because I didn't buy into the statistics about so many people get a work and so many people don't. I didn't. Hey, John 14:14, ask anything in my name and I will do it. So thank God I told that was it. So God, I want this. I want this acting, Lord. I want it. Please help me open the doors. So I got Hal Prince, member of the wedding. That's when Glenn Close. I met Glenn Close,
Yes.
and she and I became, and then we did from there Tony Perkins from Psycho fame. He was in the Psycho as the lead, and he was directing. So I got two at the same time, but they took place at different times of the year, limited runs. So then the hate really came on because here I got cast with these both giants, right? And the reviews though. Oh my God, it was a play called Don't Call Back, and we did it in Falmouth, Massachusetts, and they were like, "Oh, he's like this panther. The way he struck. I mean, all this, just you would die for those type of, not literally die, but you want that." And then from then, and that's when I was a kid, one of the actors in the play, because I would get bravo every night, standing ovation. They said, because he called me the Bravo Kid. So I have another email. That was my first email, was Bravo Kid 888. And then from there, I wanted to be on TV because New York, that's fine, but no one, my mother and grandmother, they didn't know what that meant. They're Southerners, from Mississippi. So my grandmother knew about TV. My mother didn't watch any of that, but my grandmother, when are you gonna be on TV, baby? And I said, okay, well, I guess one day, Grandma. And when she died, to me, that was I don't know, a sign from God that I should make that move. So against my agent's wishes, they said, Ernie, you'll be back in 6 months. You should not go to LA. They have actors, black actors out there. They're limited roles, and you're the new kid on the block. So we asked, you did the two plays here. Stay with the plaything. Of course, me being the rebel that I am, I I took a red eye and to LA and told my mother and everybody I'm gonna get a sick. I'm going, yeah, because Jesus said, John 14:14, ask anything in my name. So again, I'm going on what God says. Since he doesn't lie, it's gotta be true. So I took that red eye with no intent to return because a red eye is just one way, and had no place to stay. I had a friend who knew friends, stayed on someone's couch here, someone's floor here, and then I got the Jeffersons. I auditioned for the Jeffersons, and again, Sherman Hemsley was like, "Man, let me tell you something. You're gonna have your own show. I'm telling you, you're gonna have it." I thought, "Oh, okay." Again, and then auditions for Cooley High based on, and everybody and their mama was auditioning for that because they were trying to find more of the Glenn Turman. What he did was more street, even though he wasn't there, but he was playing dice and all that. So they wanted more of that, So they went to Philadelphia, all the major cities, Chicago, trying to find. So, and so I auditioned and got it, and we shot in Chicago, we shot in L.A., but ABC said it wasn't funny enough. So that's when they and I cried. Oh man, I cried. So I cried a river of tears. And but as God would have it, because you think, like, God, you told me and we'll get this. And so then they said, we're gonna keep you, Ernie, and built the whole another cast around you. So when they did that, um, when they I should my manager told me, you over talk, and you don't give the interviewer time to add. I just answer. You just do a whole
you,
monologue and it's
you've
over.
you've done
I
the
don't want.
whole interview. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I just caught myself. I just caught myself. Okay.
No, I think because your career, I mean, it spans over what 50 years now,
Yeah,
50
yeah, yeah.
literally, and
50
there's
years.
so much in there. And I know that
Yeah,
the listener, who's listening to this, will get so much out of this. I
yeah,
mean, you spoke about movies, you spoke about the sitcom. you know
yes,
i
yeah,
i I know that that when the actual show blew up, there was
yeah,
there was a lot of money, and there was a lot of new
yeah,
things, especially amongst the three
yes,
of you.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
fame, and I saw somewhere that you bought a house in Malibu, and then everyone would come to your house. I mean,
yes, yeah,
what was the deal? Because you were brought up in church. So how did I spoke in the
yeah,
intro that there were times you fell on some hard times. So how did those
yeah,
hard times come with the drugs?
yeah.
If you were somebody
Bec-
who was brought
yeah,
up in church.
because I forgot who I was, a child of God. I knew I was a child of God, but I actually said, everybody said, Ernie, you don't do coke, I said, oh no, I don't do that. I don't do any coke like that. And they said, well, hey, Red Fox does it, and so does it. It enhances it. It makes you less inhibited as an artist, especially in comedy. And so actually, I stopped going to church. I told,
Oh,
I tell, I was a warning. I also students or young people. It's like I didn't even know it, but I had just gone to the not worshiping the devil, but the partying thing. I believed in God. I was like, oh God, thank you for this. But meanwhile, I'm really doing what everyone else does, what I at church has said not to do. You're partying, you're drinking, you not necessarily having one night stands, but you definitely, as they say, fornicating, uh, all the things that are Kojic Pentecostals strictly against. And so I tell people that not having that relationship with Christ, that intimate relationship, right? I had I just took it for granted. And literally said, Lord, I am so bored. Everyone's having fun. Can I play hooky? And that's
wow.
gonna be the name of my playing hooky from God. That's gonna be the next book, playing hooky from God. It's not a good idea. Don't do that ever. Don't play hooky from God. And that's when I didn't even when I look back, I said, oh, I wasn't going to church at all, no Bible class, nothing, and lost my way. And especially with the cocaine and the weed, and uh, you add cognac to that as well, and as the scripture says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. So that's going on as I look back too. I don't know what all was going on, but I knew the Satanists came after me, to join them, and how how I will be a whole nother level, that he was a true God. I said, shut up! I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. Then the witchcraft, they came, uh, And later on, the atheists, they came as well. There's an organization that they came after me, but you have to. They're gonna introduce you to all these superstars and super business people, athletes, financiers, all that. But you have to. They don't tell you initially. That's what it is. I'm reading this. They sent me this thick book and said I was chosen. We've
Wow.
been watching you, and I'm saying, oh, great. I said, oh God, I'm so glad. I knew there was a click. I'm so glad they chose me. And then you read, and halfway in that book it says there's no God. So basically, before they will allow me to come to meet all those, to meet all these superstars, you'd have to denounce God. So all that was going on, and I know people were putting, like some type of voodoo things in the plants at my place. I saw that. Fred Berry actually saw it. So when you lose your way, you open the doors, right, for everything ungodly to enter, right? And thank God, man, when I found my way back, again, I was just at rock bottom, you know, and didn't think, really thought I'd be dead. I really did not think I would be here talking. I really thought I was 1989, after what's happening now, because that came, after that show ended, I was back on the drugs again. I was in New York. They wanted me to do a stand-up comedy, and I was trying to. I only had 15 minutes, but as a star, celebrity, you got to have an hour, and I wasn't into it like that, and I was not being honest. And they went, Ernie, you got to get some more material. You're the celebrity. You can't have unknowns being the headliner. So I remember going to New York, and that's when I was managing that kid. Thank God, who I didn't know. I met him uh, briefly when was in Boston doing stand up at this comedy club there, and he was the night clerk. So then he asked me about, can I manage him? So I'm there with him. So then I'm in New York with him, drinking the vodka at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm at that night. One of those nights, they called me to go to the Village. It was some comedy club in the Village, and I started drinking heavy. It was some brown liquor over, it was the brown liquor. And once I got off the subway, I was totally just drunk, so just dizzy almost, right? Scary, frightening. And the lights were dancing. And I asked someone, can you please help me to get back to 888 8th Avenue? So I decided not to go to the comedy gig, the comedy store there. And I got back and I was crying. I cried a river of tears that on my knees and saying, God, I can't even help you, Lord. As I talk to you, I want to do the coke. As I talk to you, I want another drink, but I know I'm gonna die if I continue. So God, can you please? I beg you, please take the desire away, you know. And the next, that's something. God is too real to be true, but that's why He's God, right? It's like, I tell people, it's like, how is this possible, right? 'Cause I've been going to AA and I'm trying CA. I'll be sober for a year, come back, but once I gave it to Jesus Christ, weeks went, years went, and now at 33 years later,
Wow.
right? Just He took the desire. It could be coke here, whatever. I wouldn't do that, and people will try to come around and entice you. God took it away. So when people say they don't, I can't argue with you about not believing or not. I just know what I know. So I'll give you other Christian friends who might want to have a discussion about that. But I know that I know that I know. Okay. So, because even my friends were saying I was going to die. So even they, their wives to say, yeah, my husband said they think you're gonna be end up dead in a hotel. So it
Wow.
was even that, yeah, because the my go-to, because when you're on coke with people, they get paranoid. And I could be on coke and drinking and sit just like this, and not in my mind though, because I have incredible imaginations. I'm going to places, right? But others are acting out. They got, I was with drug dealers who got the guns and they got the shotguns and all that. And then it made me nervous that they might shoot me one day, just start shooting me. So I started going to hotels, literally going to hotels. And it and that's how clever I thought I was, right? I'll show them. I'm gonna go to the hotel and get high.
I know that you've worked with Sidney Poitier and
Hmm.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
James L. Jones.
James
Yeah.
L. Jones. I mean,
Yeah.
what for a young kid at that time? What was it like working with those icons?
eBay, brother. Man, I was such a fan. I fanned out. I know they got tired of me because I was, I was like, oh my God, Bill Cosby. Oh my God, James Earl Jones. But Sidney Poitier, basically, that was it. I love meeting James Earl Jones and Bill Cosby, but Sidney Poitier was the ultimate to me. And never in a million years would I think I'd be in a film with him. So to the point he had to get on me, like to stop idolizing him, right? Because I'd be staring, I'd just be staring at him, and then I wasn't concentrating as a character. At one point, I was just off in a daze because I'm playing a video of him in lilies of the field that I saw as a little boy, and how is this possible now? And he said, "Hey, Ernest, snap out of it. You got to snap out of it." But I was like, "You don't know. You're not me. If you were me seeing you, right?" But yeah, man. And Dr. Maya Angelou, oh my God, she took me under her wing. And that's when the show was
Wow.
over. Yeah, the show had been canceled, and I had a martial arts script I wanted to get done. She took me to 20th Century Fox because she had a TV movie they had approved of called Sister Sister with Diane Carroll, Irene Carroll. Uh, oh God, it was a who's who in that too. Um, and so she took me there to try to get my movie done. She took me to dinner, to lunch, speaking French fluent. I could when she did the French with the guy, I was done. I just could not. Good Lord, man. But her, and then I did meet Oprah Winfrey, and then above, with all due respect to Sydney, above all, Muhammad Ali,
Wow.
because that's when I really that was after what's happening now, and I'm living at the YMCA. That's it. Got never. I'm renting a room at the YMCA, and people think I'm just coming there to work out. They don't know I have literally a room.
Oh
I
wow.
have I have
Wow.
lodging there. And then I asked the drug dealer. I would go and still doing the drugs. I was at his place doing the drugs one day, and uh, and I had run out of the money to buy drugs. And he said, "Look, Ernie, I can't give you any more." And he says, "Man, you need to get a hold. You need Ali. You need to be Muhammad Ali. I bet he like you." And that guy, the drug dealer, put that. So I said, "Okay, that's what I need to do." And I went back to the YMCA. But anyway, I started buying, I believe, a visual. They thought I was into witchcraft, the people around me. But I bought every, like, magazines with Ali and put the photos around the room, and asking God, God, I need to see him, but I needed the visual so I could see it in my mind. And I'm not lying to you. A week later, this is the power of prayer. A week later, I go to Hollywood, just on a side street. My friend, he had a car. We're just gonna go and walk around. And this lady, who just happens, a white lady, is not about the car, but just she didn't know me from Adam. She didn't say, hey, Raj, none of that. She just said, hey, Muhammad Ali's at the magic shop right there on Hollywood Boulevard,
Wow.
you know. It looks like it's closed. There's a gate. It looks, just open it. You can go right on in. And then that friend said, "Oh my God, you're a warlock. You're a damn warlock, right?" And so I went in. I met Ali, and I was, of course, I really in awe. You know, I could barely speak really, and but he's so humble, right? And that's when he offered to help me, and I said I don't need help, pride, right? I'm at the YMCA. I need money for food and all. He says, you need help? You need something? I said, oh no. I said, no. You know what I need? I just need your autograph. That's all I need. And he looked at me. He gave me that look, brother. He gave me that X-ray look, like he was looking through me, and with a stern look, like he was angry because I was lying, right?
Mm.
And so he just stared at me and said, "Okay, well, here's my phone number in case you do need something." And it took me 3 months, and I learned about that pride. He said, "Why did it take you so long?" He said, everyone needs help at some point in time. When the whole Vietnam thing, he was off 3 years, he couldn't box, and he said Joe Frazier helped him. You
Yeah.
know, we all need help. He said, don't do that. Your pride cost you 3 months of help. You know,
Wow.
and man, he took me under his wing. He gave me a place to live. He gave me money for health care and the
Wow.
get eye surgery. He would take me in his Rolls Royce. He would take me on his War Hunger tour. He just really loved me as a friend. I didn't get it because I would try to stay away from him, right? And he would have his bodyguards come and get me to go to different events, and I'd be hiding. I wouldn't answer the door because I felt I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And so he finally, I'm not, let me not cuss. I know I said that DAMN word, but he just said, you need to stop that. You know what? I'm just a man, Yeah. And he says, I'm just another nigga trying to get bigger. That's what he said. At that time, I know, don't get me, y'all, because of the N word. I'm just saying, at that time, that was 1980. But he let me know, I'm supposed to help you. I am blessed so I can help you. This is supposed to be. Yeah.
So, I mean, that happens, and then we're going to move forward into Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh.
With the iconic character of
Mm,
Mr. Omar. I mean,
yeah.
how did I mean? Because by this time you're off the drugs, you're born
Yeah.
again,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Mr. Omar comes up. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
Oh, brother. Again, brother, did not see that coming. I wanted another show, but I'm trying. I got with this manager, and we wrote down sitcom ideas. Well, he did. He had different premises, and but out of nowhere, uh, again, my agent. It was my commercial agent because my agent couldn't get a hold of me, so they called the commercial agent. They said Chris Rock is trying to reach you to audition, for this new show, and I went, no, no, there's somebody playing a joke on you. Chris Rock does. I said and I did meet him. Now I met him in Buffalo, New York. He was not known then, right? So and this is, oh God, that was in '89. I met him in Buffalo, New York, and I told him I said, man, the people know how you are, man. You are amazing. You are a superstar already. And but he was just like one of those local comedy places, but not like household name at all. And then we went out to like a little club there. But I said, this guy. I was telling people, man, this Chris Rock is so good. But he never said he remembered that, but I think he did.
Mm.
But he grew up on the show, and so I went. Was only the first. There's an episode where I play a Nation of Islam. I'm one of the a Nation of Islam members, and Christmas going, it was Halloween, they're going around looking for candy, knocking on doors, and I have a newspaper, and I give them knowledge. That's the gift of knowledge, right? So it was only one line. Guess what?
Yeah.
The first thing I did was only one line, and I was really upset about that one line, But if you just be obedient, and I said, Lord, I'm grateful, but I can't believe they gave me one line. That's it. And then later they called it. They had created this Mr. Omar, a funeral director. You don't have to audition. It's yours. So I'm like
Wow.
all excited, but now I'm thinking, but now I gotta create this. I gotta bring him. I gotta make him come to life. Oh Lord. Now that, and then I was there was one of those early morning shoots because it was one camera. So we did it like I think I had to get there about 6 in the morning, and I was very nervous, and this elderly lady who was an extra, she said, "Baby, why are you so nervous?" I'm walking back. I said, "Well, see, they created this role for me, and I never was offered a role that I didn't have to audition for. But what if they don't like what I'm gonna do?" And she said, "Hey, baby, you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for Jesus Christ."
Wow.
When she said that, eBay, oh brother, she reminded me who I was. And it kicked in. I said, Lord Jesus, thank you for the gift. Went in there and we're gonna chill right now. Brother, it was heaven on earth. Loretta Dime was there, Tisha Campbell, Tisha Arnold, Terry Crews, and Ali Leroy, who was a co-creator. And so I'm doing it, and you can't laugh because it's not that, it's like a one camera. But and so I'm like, since I'm so used to laughter, I'm like, am I funny? And they were like, man, that's so hilarious, but you can't laugh because they're not supposed to be laugh. So to the point, I knew that God was there and had me because Ali Leroy said he pulled me to the side. He says, when I wrote this, I'm not the way you saying the lines. I didn't hear it that way. You have this quirky way of saying the lines, but I like it. He said, so okay, guys, we're gonna do the scene again, and Ernie, whatever comes to your mind, say it. So now again, oh Jesus Christ, Lord, the Lord stepped in, and it just came like it's like an outer body experience when you let go and let God and ask Christ, Lord, you got it, and He takes over. And yeah, you got your knowledge, but then something just happens in the moment. The right words, the right movement, the right facial expression just comes, and it was gold platinum, and to God be the glory.
I mean, today
God be the glory.
we love it. We love the catchphrase "tragic." We love it. I mean, what I'm growing up. You grew up in Kojic. Who were the go-to or let me say it like this: who do you listen to in regards to gospel music?
Oh, at that time, see, before your time though, probably, but Dr. Shirley Caesar, she had a song that called "Choose Ye This Day Whom You Shall Serve." Oh, and I met her later, like in life, maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah,
and she could not. I said, I remember that song as a little. I'm getting chill right now. Uh, will it be God or will it be Baal? Choose ye. And then Mahalia Jackson. Oh, that was number one. Mahalia Jackson was number one. My grandmother played it all the time, and she played Aretha Franklin's father because he had records of his preaching at
yes, he
that
did.
time.
Yeah,
And I remember him like he was right there in the projects. And but gospel singers, yeah, it was Mahalia Jackson was number one, and then Dr. Shirley Caesar. Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
think? Do you listen to the artists of today?
Oh
musicals?
yeah. Oh man. Today, of course, I met Kirk Franklin. We did a play together, and
Wow.
I didn't know him until we did the play. I didn't know about his music, but then I fell in love with his. And but I loved his the reason why I sing and all that. But the number one, his Now Behold the Lamb,
Oh yes.
Pamela Mann. I told him that's the superstar. And he said, "What about?" I said, "Have you heard other songs?" I said, "The only song I listen to over and over again is Now Behold the Lamb." And again, that gut, God don't lie, brother. She became exactly what I thought, right? All these years later. So it was her, of course, Yolanda Adams, um, uh, Leandra Johnson. Oh, brother. Don't even get me started on Leandra Johnson. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
her, how
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
started
She's
off.
big over here.
That's every morning I got that on because I got the YouTube. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Another YouTube. You can and CC Winans,
Yeah.
The Goodness of God, and oh man, that Believe It. And then Donnie McClurkin,
Yeah.
Pastor Donnie McClurkin. Oh God, and Vicky Winans, uh, Tasha Cobbs,
There she comes. Yeah.
Mary, and a lot of them I know the song, but not them. I don't know the name.
Okay.
Still, I listen to gospel stations, but Toby Mac, Toby Mac,
Toby Mac. Yeah.
Marvin Sapp, Never Could Have Made It. That once. Oh, and he went through depression. Uh, total praise, total
Oh,
praise.
Richard Smallwood.
Small. Oh, and because I went through I told you the depression hit after the accident. So you thinking you always think you're the only one within the Christians because no one talks about it with them. And to see him to give his testimony about how bad it was. But yeah, total praise. Oh my Lord. Then I channel surf for ministers, so I love my minister, but before Bishop Blake, Bishop Jakes, I have been listening to since, oh God, 2000 probably. I just thought this guy, I have never seen a minister, like him. I mean, he just covers so many topics, and now he got his own channel, as you know, on first time ever, just on
Yeah.
demand. And
Yeah.
but to be minutes because of YouTube, the World Wide Web, they answered questions. They were speaking directly to me, and I listened to Bishop Jones, Joyce Myers, Joel Osteen. I listen to everyone. Some people, oh, that preacher, he don't have. I said, look, I don't want to hear all that. You know, I, as long as they saying Jesus Christ crucified, raising hand. So I still go and see ministers I've never. Recently was Prophet Lovey. I never heard. I just saw him one day, and I recently went to his church. Uh, I try to just go, to wherever I feel the anointing. But I'm my home church will always do West Angeles,
Yes, and
and
yes.
now Bishop Blake's son Charles Blake II has taken over. But that keeps me going every day. Every day is going to be praying, listen to ministry, listen to prayers. Dr. Cindy Trim, the
Yes.
entrepreneurial prayer and the atomic prayer. I'll
Yes.
have that blasting, brother, every day. And when I was driving, I have it in the car blasting, and it has really ministered to me. Saved, again, for that day, God is just a reminder of God, the presence of God, the
Mm.
very presence of God, and the testimonies on TBN, all the different people they bring on. So you'll see all that on YouTube, and
Yeah.
you don't know what people have gone through, and oh my Lord, just incredible testimonies.
Well, I really want to thank you for doing this. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. We got to get
Oh,
you when you come to the UK. You have to come directly in to our
okay.
studios. We'll do a whole
Yes. Oh,
day.
absolutely, brother. Are
Well,
you kidding, brother? This has been. what a blessing. Thank you. Bless this actually I will say made my day. Of course, the Lord, you first. Thank you, Lord, for waking me up. But uh I this has been on my mind. I didn't want to miss it. I wrote it down on different places. I had several alarm clocks because I seriously I did not want to miss, this. And I'm so glad you. Thank you so much. And your story, and the world needs to hear eBay the Giant Killer's story.